Week 189, here we go. What's happening in Toronto real estate right now is, I guess, what we kind of expect to happen in Toronto real estate right now. Listings are piling on day after day after day after 2 weeks of pretty much not, which was kind of promising because, as we all know, 3 weeks of something happening usually signals a trend based on the 189 weeks in a row that I've been doing this. So we had 2 weeks in a row of house and condo listings basically not moving upward, which was a huge relief. But then we got last week to this week where we had almost more than 100 houses added to the market week over week, and about the same number of condos. Way less dramatic on the condo side because that's kind of normal. But I've never seen 100 houses added to the listing supply week over week ever. That, not even beginning of COVID when people were scared. Like, that was a big jump in the number of house listings. But that also leads me to my next point. There are some underrepresented individuals out there right now who are running around with agents that have no idea what they're talking about. Let me explain. I have this listing right now in Leslieville. It's on Brooklyn Avenue. And if you know Leslieville, you know that Brooklyn Avenue is the street on Leslieville that everybody wants to be on. It's kind of like North Riverdale. No matter what the market is doing, Brooklyn Avenue is doing well regardless. Unless you have an absolute piece of shit. But even still, it's still going to do well because the developer is going to buy it and they're going to do something epic with it. This is the bumpiest street I've ever driven on in my entire life. Awesome. Anyway, so this agent calls me up and I'm listed under because this is one of the streets where you can still do an under list and bid up to that market value price you're trying to get to. And he's trying to grind me on the price and he's trying to tell me, oh, this is the market, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just listening to the guy and I'm not going to say anything, like whatever. Let him bring his shitty low offer so I can use it to leverage the other offers to bring it, the price up from my seller needs it. But at the end of the day, this guy has no idea what he's really talking about this particular street. And I really worry about this guy's buyer. Like, how many properties are they jumping from one to another in this market expecting to get deals, and they just keep getting their ass kicked one after another because they're looking for deals on prime properties and prime neighborhoods. So what I'm trying to get at here is that it's really important to look at your representation in this market more so than ever. I mean, it's always important to be very well represented by a local expert that knows what they're doing. And this is a prime example. This guy thinks he can go around town throwing in all kinds of weird offers and making it make sense for sellers, assuming everybody's in a desperate position and assuming every property is basically affected the same way. And that's just not true. You can't really Google the fact that this street is the street. And you won't really know these things unless you're working with a local pro who knows. So look at your representation. And if you're running from offer to offer right now in this kind of market and not being successful, you got a problem that you need to fix. And it's not my job to fix it, but you got to identify the problem first. And most people don't even know that they have this problem. So you can't be a generalist in real estate. Some people may have led you to believe that you can jump from here to here and here to here. I mean, you certainly can. But I'd rather work with an agent that's, really focused and zoned in on a neighborhood and knows what they're talking about instead of chasing paychecks all over the city or the province of Ontario in some people's cases. So anyway, it just really frustrates me because because it helps me. If a guy like this comes to the offer table, it just helps me get more money from my seller. So that's cool. But at the end of the day, that buyer I feel bad for because they are represented by somebody who has no idea what they're doing. So your Aunt Sally, your Uncle Sal, whoever it is that you feel like you have to work with because they've been the family agent for so long, allow us an opportunity to bid for the job. If I don't have a proper representative for an area that you're looking in, we're just going to bow out. That's as simple as that. So anyway, that's a topic for another day, I guess. But I guess, it just became the topic for today. But so listing supply is super aggressively adding on right now. And I can't remember if it's in this video or the one that just messed up before that I talked about it, but I'm going to talk about it again. There were a ton of listings added on the house side this past week. So let's see how that affects the market going forward. Now, a lot of people give me shit for calling the bottom of the market in the fourth quarter of 2022 when we had fewer sales than we do right now. The market at the end of 2022 was absolute hot garbage. Nobody was buying anything. Sellers weren't even really coming to market, which was good because it wasn't flooding with a bunch of listings. But prices, there were deals happening then. Better deals than today, even with lower rates then. So long story short, we've got some serious listings coming on right now, and there's going to be some serious pain felt by some home owners who need to sell, who have finally hit those trigger rates that have finally bumped their payments to the point of actual pain. And that's a huge mistake that I made. And I've talked about this before. I think I've talked about it a number of times before. Like, I did not understand how much lag time exists from when rates are hiked to when people actually start feeling the pain. These rate hikes don't affect people that are currently in the market as buyers as much as they affect people that need to renew mortgages right now. Because these people are used to a specific payment, and then all of a sudden, boom, up from 50 to 100% in some cases. There is no question there's going to be a lot of people who cannot absorb that kind of bump. Luckily, I can for now. I'm still trying to sell my house and everything, but I can still manage those payments for now. Anywho, long story short, if you are some opportunistic buyer out there, there are probably going to be some interesting opportunities for you in the coming weeks, months. Q4 of 2023 will probably be just as shitty as Q4 2022. Maybe that's just a trend now from now on. Just Q4s are just, maybe we just take vacations on Q4 and don't do anything because the market is trash. But again, the market's not trash for everyone. So you've got to understand what you have to sell and where you have to sell it before we decide that it's not going to work out or if it's going to be some sort of negative situation for you. Like, I thought prices would be affected a hell of a lot more than they're affected right now, considering the amount of inventory we have out there at the moment. So, like, bro, you got to move, man. What are you doing? You can't just sit there. Anyway, so long story short, this isn't going to be a long one. I got to meet my buddy Julian for lunch right now. Steak and sushi at Joey's, by the way. One of my favorites. Anyway, long story short, the market is kind of on fire for very few properties and not so on fire for other properties. And it's going to take a local specialist to determine what's what and, you know, what your actual situation is. There are still an enormous amount of opportunities in assignment land. Like, we have an assignment right now that was purchased in 2019 that the seller occupies next month in 30 days, and he's willing to leave all of his deposit on the table. That's basically handing you $50,000. So if that's something that you're interested in or deals like that, then let's talk about it. But right now, we are going to focus on, I guess, being super positive in the market. Back up, bro! We're going to focus on being as positive as possible in the market and not freaking out when listings add on or you read some sort of article that says this or that, because everybody's situation is going to be extremely different. And this parking lot is going to be the death of me. My God, you idiots. Anyway, so yes, please move your giant ass car over and learn how to drive. Anyway, I don't have patience today. I got to go have some lunch. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything yet today. Week 189 is here. Week 190 is next week. And hopefully it's an epic, successful week for you. Book a consult below so we can talk about the actual market when I'm not freaking out in a parking lot here like this. But hey, I had to make this video happen right now because I just had to do it. So have a beautiful day, and I love you all. Bye.